Hey guys, welcome to the second part of the Art of Winning an Argument series. For those of you who haven't watched the previous video, it's alright, you don't have to watch it to benefit from today's video. In this series, we cover 30 tricks to always win an argument, taken from Schopenhauer's The Art of Being Right. These tricks allow you to confuse your opponent, distract your opponent, so that they lose their ground and you come out winning. Why am I showing you these tricks? I'm showing you these tricks so that you can recognize it when someone tries to use them on you. Such a person is not interested in having a constructive discussion, in finding out the truth. Such a person is only interested in being right. Just a quick note for those of you who have seen the previous video. I have changed the format a little bit, and today I want to be showing example situations for each trick. Firstly, because that really stretches the video, and secondly, because I don't want to say something that is confusing, that doesn't actually illustrate the trick. So today I'm just going to briefly describe each trick. Okay, without further ado, let's dive into it. Trick 6. Mislead with questions. Ask the opponent many questions. Questions that are rather broad. Do not reveal why you're asking those questions. This will confuse your opponent and they will be less likely to spot errors in your reasoning. By the way, according to Schopenhauer, this trick was very popular amongst ancient philosophers. Fun fact. Trick number 7. Make your opponent angry. Almost literally. The trick says, annoy your opponent. Perhaps you know their personal weakness. Bring it to light. It's best if your attacks are not noticeable to the audience. The more discreet, the more low-key you are about annoying your opponent, the better. If you're successful, your opponent will lose confidence and they will be less likely to reason correctly. Trick 8. Questions in detouring order. Ask questions in a mixed-up order. That will confuse your opponent and they won't be able to notice what conclusion you're trying to make. Then use their answers to support your conclusion. Trick number 9. Take advantage of the naysayer. When you notice that the opponent deliberately denies your statements where it would be convenient if they agreed, then ask them about things that directly deny your conclusion. If they say no to them, they actually support your original conclusion. And you win. Trick 10. Relative value. Valuing arguments according to what suits us. For example, when an opponent suggests a change, call it a blow to the current establishment. But when you suggest a change, call it an innovative move. In other words, calling something negative or positive depending on what suits us. Trick number 11. False choice. Give the opponent two options. Our thesis and a very exaggerated antithesis. You know, grey looks black next to white. So for example, say something like this. Would you rather ban cigarettes or see everyone die of lung cancer? Trick 12. Claim victory. Announce your victory. Say that you've proven your point, even though you didn't. It might work if you have an argument with someone who's shy or who can't reason quickly. Trick 13. Trick with the truth. Say something that is true, even though it doesn't appear to be true. If the opponent refutes the statement, then you prove that it was actually right and you win. If the opponent agrees with the statement, well, at least you get a point because they agreed with you. Trick 14. Argumentum ad hominem. This is actually one of the most popular tricks and it's so annoying. Find something in your opponent's words that is contrasting with a group he belongs to. For example, when your opponent says that building expensive churches is not the best way to use taxpayers' money, say, and do you call yourself a Catholic? If they're Catholic, of course. Trick 15. Change the topic suddenly. As simple as that. Seeing that your opponent is on his way to win the argument, distract him, draw his attention to something else, change the topic. Trick 16. Generalize admissions of specific cases. When an opponent demands specific arguments against the statements that he's making, and we don't have those arguments, generalize his statement and attack those generalizations. For example, say something as silly as limits to human knowledge. For example, say, we are human beings and very fallible ones. According to current scientific research, your arguments might be true, but we can't really know, can we? Trick 17. I can't pronounce this. Fallacia non causae ut causae. If you and your opponent agree on some statements, use those statements as a proof to your conclusion, even though some other arguments are missing and there aren't sufficient arguments to draw this conclusion. Trick 18. Meet him with a counter-argument as bad as his. When an opponent has used a dirty trick on you, it's better to use a similar dirty trick on him, rather than trying to correct his reasoning or bring to everybody's attention that he's used a dirty trick. That will put them in a worse position than trying to prove that they've used a dirty trick. Well, that's Schopenhauer's opinion anyway. As I was going through this list, I realized that I sometimes use some of those tricks unwittingly. And I think this is how the majority of people do it, unwittingly. It's easy to be irrational because we have this instinct to protect our ego, to have things our way. We don't have an instinct to search for the truth. That's why it's so easy in discussions, conversations, to use some of those dirty tricks unwittingly. Then on the other hand, there are groups of people like journalists and politicians who use those tricks very consciously. They are trained to use those tricks. So be on the lookout for the dirty tricks in the media, but also be on the lookout for the last part of this series, which is coming soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!